Welcome back to the Fame Files, episode 46.
Ooh, 46 already.
Time flies when you're having fun, right? You know we love to unpack the latest celebrity news, and today, today we're swinging into the Spider-Verse.
The Spider-Verse.
Specifically, some buzz around the upcoming Spider-Man 4. The big question is, did Tom Holland, notorious for letting slip movie spoilers, just drop a major hint about the next film?
Oh, Tom Holland and spoilers. Name a more iconic duo.
Right. It all started with Tom announcing the sweepstakes on Instagram for his family's charity, the Brothers Trust.
Okay.
The grand prize.
Yeah.
Chance to visit the Spider-Man 4 set in London, have lunch with Tom Holland himself, and get a behind-the-scenes look at the production. Sounds like a dream come true for any Spider-Man fan, right?
Absolutely, but this generous contest might have revealed more than intended.
You think?
By mentioning the set visit, it inadvertently confirmed that filming will take place in London sometime during the summer or fall of 2025.
And the fans.
Oh, they're understandably freaking out a bit.
Yeah, London. Does that mean we might be seeing some European-based villains this time around? Or storylines?
It's a definite possibility. Shifting the setting to London opens up a whole new world of storytelling potential. Could introduce a fresh cast of characters, maybe draw some inspiration from European folklore or history.
Ooh, I like that.
Even pit Spider-Man against villains with international ties.
I'm already picturing Spidey swinging past Big Ben. Or battling a villain on the London Eye. Okay, back to the fan reactions. Scrolling through the comments, some are worried that Tom might be in trouble with Marvel Studios for spilling the beans. Do you think Marvel was okay with this reveal?
It's hard to say for sure.
Yeah.
Remember, this is an official giveaway, organized through a well-respected charity. It's unlikely that it would proceed without at least some level of approval from the studio.
True.
However, knowing Tom Holland's track record, I wouldn't be surprised if there were a few panicked calls between Sony and Marvel.
Oh, I can totally imagine the scramble behind the scenes. But hey, maybe it was all part of a carefully orchestrated marketing plan. A little calculated leak to generate buzz. We all know how much fans love to speculate.
That's certainly possible. Marvel Studios is known for its masterful marketing strategies, often planting subtle clues and teasers to keep fans engaged. This seemingly innocent contest could be a clever way to fuel speculation and anticipation for the upcoming film.
Good point. Okay, so let's get into what we know for sure about Spider-Man 4, aside from the filming location. The last we saw of Peter Parker in Spider-Man No Way Home, everyone had forgotten his identity, thanks to Doctor Strange's spell.
Right, and Amy Pascal, one of the producers on the franchise, has hinted that this film will delve into the fallout of that event. Peter is facing a pretty heavy choice. Embrace being Spider-Man or try to reclaim a normal life as Peter Parker?
That's the classic Spider-Man dilemma, isn't it? The struggle between personal desires and a sense of responsibility. This time, though, it feels even more poignant. Everyone he cares about has forgotten who he is. How does he even begin to rebuild his life?
Exactly. It's a completely blank slate for Peter. Will he use this opportunity to pursue his own happiness? Or will the call to heroism pull him back into the mask? It's a fascinating setup for exploring themes of identity, sacrifice, and what it truly means to be a hero.
I'm already getting chills just thinking about it.
Yeah.
You know, Amy Pascal's hints about Peter's internal struggle actually connect to some of the deeper themes that have always run through the Spider-Man mythos, like the burden of responsibility and the sacrifices heroes often have to make.
Absolutely. Spider-Man has always been a relatable hero because he's constantly grappling with these very human dilemmas. He's not a godlike figure or a billionaire playboy. He's a kid who's trying to figure out his place in the world, while also dealing with extraordinary powers and responsibilities.
Speaking of extraordinary powers, there are also those rumors swirling around that this might be one of Tom Holland's last appearances as Spider-Man. It's hard to imagine anyone else in the role at this point.
I agree. Tom Holland has truly made the role his own. But, you know, those rumors have been circulating for a while. And considering the cyclical nature of superhero franchises, a transition might be inevitable.
So if this is the end of an era, where does the franchise go next? Are we talking a full reboot, a new actor, or something even more unexpected?
Well, there's a lot of speculation about Miles Morales potentially stepping into the role. It would make sense, especially with the success of the Spider-Verse films and the growing demand for more diversity in superhero storytelling. Imagine the impact of seeing Miles Morales swing onto the big screen in the MCU.
It would be a game changer for sure. But I wonder how they'd handle that transition. Would it be a smooth handover with Tom Holland passing the torch to Miles? Or would it be a complete fresh start?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? I think it would be brilliant to see them both coexist in the same universe, perhaps even team up at some point. It would be a testament to the legacy of Spider-Man and the idea that anyone can wear the mask.
I love that. It would be a great way to honor the past while embracing the future. Speaking of the future, we know the official release date for Spider-Man 4 is July 24th, 2026. It feels so far away.
It does, but that gives them plenty of time to craft a compelling story and deliver the visual spectacle we've come to expect from these films.
And speaking of delivering, we can't forget about the new director at the helm, Destin Daniel Cretton, the visionary behind Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. I have a feeling we're in for some epic action sequences and stunning visuals.
Absolutely. Cretton's proven his ability to blend action with heart and humor, creating characters we care about while still delivering those jaw-dropping moments.
This whole situation with Tom Holland's Instagram post is a perfect example of how social media can be both a blessing and a curse for celebrities. On one hand, it allows for that direct connection with fans, but on the other, it can lead to accidental reveals and a whole lot of scrutiny.
It's a delicate balance,
Okay.
and sometimes even the best intentions can backfire, especially when you're dealing with passionate fans who are hungry for any scrap of information.
But hey, let's be honest. A little bit of mystery and speculation just adds to the fun.
Right.
What do you think? Are you more excited or more nervous about the possibility of Tom Holland's slip-up?
I think it's a mix of both. It's definitely generated a lot of buzz and excitement, but it also raises some intriguing questions about what we can expect from Spider-Man 4. Ultimately, though, I trust that Marvel Studios has a plan, and I'm eager to see how it all unfolds.
Me too. It's going to be a long wait until 2026, but I have a feeling it'll be worth it.
I couldn't agree more. You know, this confirmation from Sony about the release date isn't just good news for eager fans.
You're right.
It's a big win for the film industry as a whole.
With the recent strikes causing so many delays and uncertainties, it's a relief to hear that Spider-Man 4 is still on track.
Exactly. Having a major studio like Sony reaffirm their commitment to a big-budget project like this, it sends a signal of stability and confidence in the future of filmmaking.
It's like a breath of fresh air for an industry that's been facing some tough times. And let's face it, we could all use a little bit of superhero action to look forward to, especially with how things were left at the end of No Way Home. There are so many possibilities for where they could take the story.
Absolutely. Now let's circle back to those rumors about this being one of Tom Holland's last appearances as Spider-Man. What do you make of all of the speculation?
Well, it's hard to imagine anyone else filling those shoes. He's brought such a unique energy and vulnerability to the character, making him feel so real and relatable. But I guess even superheroes can't stay in the game forever.
It's true. Change is inevitable, and it might be time for a new generation to step into the spotlight. The comics and the Spider-Verse films have already introduced us to Miles Morales,
Right.
a complex and compelling character who could easily carry the torch.
You know, bringing Miles Morales into the live-action universe would be huge. It would be a powerful statement about representation and diversity, reflecting the changing landscape of superhero storytelling.
Precisely. It would show that anyone can be a hero, regardless of their background. And considering the multiverse concept that's been explored in recent films, there are so many ways to introduce him into the MCU.
I'm already imagining the fan theories and speculation. If they even hint at Miles in Spider-Man 4, it would send the internet into overdrive.
I can only imagine. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. We've covered a lot of ground already, from Tom Holland's accidental spoiler to Sony's reassurance about the release date and the possibility of Miles Morales joining the MCU.
It's been quite a ride. But before we get too lost in hypotheticals, let's bring it back to you, the listener. What stands out to you the most from everything we've discussed so far?
Is it the filming location, the potential for new villains, or maybe the excitement surrounding Miles Morales?
Let us know your thoughts.
We always love hearing from our listeners, but for now, let's shift gears and dive into some of the juiciest fan theories circulating online. After all, what's a deep dive into the Spider-Verse without a healthy dose of speculation?
Right.
And remember, No Way Home left Peter Parker in a very vulnerable position, with everyone forgetting his identity. This creates a wide-open landscape for potential storylines and character arcs.
Okay, hit me with some of the most intriguing theories. What are the fans saying?
One theory that's gaining a lot of traction is the potential introduction of Gwen Stacy
So, Gwen Stacy.
as a love interest for Peter. She's a beloved character from the comics, whose story is often intertwined with tragedy. Bringing her into the MCU would add a whole new layer of complexity and emotional depth.
Oh, I can see it now. Peter trying to navigate a new relationship while also protecting his secret identity, all while dealing with the emotional fallout of having everyone forget who he is. Talk about a recipe for drama.
Exactly. It would be a classic Spider-Man story, full of high-stakes, emotional turmoil, and that signature blend of action and heart.
Okay, what other theories are out there? Are people hoping for any returning villains?
Absolutely. There's a lot of buzz about the possibility of seeing a revamped Green Goblin, maybe even with a different actor taking on the role.
That would be amazing.
Yeah.
I'm always up for a good villain redemption arc, or even a descent into further madness. And with the multiverse being cracked open, there's really no limit to who could show up.
Imagine a scenario where villains from previous Spider-Man films, or even alternate universes, cross paths with Tom Holland's Peter Parker. The possibilities are endless.
Oh, my head is spinning just thinking about it. I think I need a moment to process all of this.
Take your time. It's a lot to digest, but that's what makes the world of Spider-Man so captivating. It's always evolving, always surprising us with unexpected twists and turns.
Speaking of twists and turns, before we wrap up this segment, I'd love to hear your personal predictions for Spider-Man 4. What kind of story do you think we're in for?
Based on Amy Pascal's comments and the events of No Way Home, I'm leaning towards a story that focuses on Peter Parker's internal struggles
Okay.
as he tries to rebuild his life from scratch. I think we'll see him grappling with the loneliness of his secret identity, questioning whether he can ever truly have a normal life, and ultimately coming to terms with the sacrifices that come with being a hero.
That sounds very much in line with the classic Spider-Man themes of responsibility and self-sacrifice. I'm also curious to see how they handle the potential introduction of Miles Morales. Do you think we'll get a glimpse of him in this film?
I wouldn't be surprised if they plant some seeds for his arrival. Maybe a brief cameo, a subtle mention of his name, or even a post-credit scene that sets up his future in the MCU.
Ooh, that would be epic.
Yeah.
But for now, we can only speculate. What we do know is that Spider-Man 4 is shaping up to be an exciting and emotionally resonant chapter in the Spider-Man saga.
Indeed. And we'll be here to break down every detail, analyze every trailer, and keep you up to date on all the latest developments.
We wouldn't have it any other way. But before we move on, let's take a moment to acknowledge the incredible passion and creativity of the Spider-Man fandom.
From the countless fan theories to the amazing artwork and cosplays, it's clear that Spider-Man holds a special place in the hearts of so many people.
It's a testament to the enduring power of this character and the stories that have been told about him for decades.
And we're excited to see how those stories continue to evolve and inspire new generations of fans.
Now let's take a quick break and come back with even more Spider-Man goodness. We'll be exploring some of those burning questions that you, our listeners, have for Tom Holland himself. All right, we're back and ready to swing into some of the burning questions you, our listeners, have for Tom Holland about Spider-Man 4.
You know, it's fascinating how passionate fans are about this franchise. They're not just passively consuming the content.
Right.
They're actively engaging with it, creating theories, speculating about plot twists, even crafting their own visions for the future of Spider-Man.
Exactly. It's like a collective brainstorming session where everyone's contributing their ideas and interpretations. It's a testament to the power of storytelling, to ignite imagination and foster a sense of community.
And with a character like Spider-Man, who's been around for decades, there's a rich history to draw from. Fans can tap into the vast mythology of the comics, the animated series, and the previous live-action films to fuel their speculation.
Okay, let's dive into some of these listener questions. We asked you what you'd ask Tom Holland if you had the chance, and boy, you definitely delivered.
Oh, we received hundreds of responses, ranging from, the insightful to the hilarious. It's clear that you put a lot of thought into this, and we're excited to share some of the highlights.
All right, first up we have a question from Webhead Wonder, who asks, Tom, if you could give Peter Parker one piece of advice based on everything he's been through, what would it be?
That's a great question. It really makes you think about the emotional weight of Peter's journey and the lessons he's learned along the way. What do you think Tom would say?
That's a tough one. Considering Peter's tendency to shoulder the burden of responsibility alone, maybe Tom would advise him to lean on his friends and loved ones.
Yeah.
To remember that he doesn't have to face everything alone. After all, even superheroes need a support system.
That's a really insightful point. It's a reminder that even though Peter has these extraordinary abilities, he's still human, and he needs connection and support. just like everyone else.
Okay, next question. This one comes from Spidey Sensei, who asks, Tom, what's been the most challenging aspect of playing Spider-Man?
I imagine it's a physically demanding role, requiring intense training and stunt work, but I also think there's a tremendous emotional weight that comes with portraying such an iconic
Yeah.
and beloved character.
It's not just about the physicality. It's
Yeah.
about capturing the essence of Spider-Man. His humor,
Yeah.
his heart, his struggles. There's a lot of pressure to do the character justice, and I think Tom Holland has done a phenomenal job.
Absolutely. He's managed to balance the youthful energy and vulnerability of Peter Parker with the heroism and determination of Spider-Man. It's a delicate balance, and he's pulled it off brilliantly.
All right, here's a fun one from MJ Fan 4 Life, who asks, Tom, if Peter Parker could have any other superhero's powers for a day, who would he choose and why?
Ooh, that's a great question. I'd love to hear Tom's answer. It would give us some insight into what Peter might admire or envy in other heroes. What do you think?
I could see Peter being drawn to someone like Doctor Strange, with his ability to manipulate time and space. Imagine the possibilities. He could go back and prevent certain tragedies, or even explore different dimensions.
That's a really interesting choice. Or maybe he'd choose someone like Iron Man. With his advanced technology and resources, Peter's always been a bit of a science geek, so I could see him being fascinated by the possibilities of Stark tech.
Those are both great options.
Yeah.
Okay, last question for today. This one comes from Spider-Verse Fanatic, who asks, Tom, what can you tease about the future of Spider-Man in the MCU without giving away any spoilers?
Now that's the million-dollar question. I'm sure Tom is itching to spill the beans, but he's probably under strict orders from Marvel to keep things under wraps.
Right. But even a tiny hint would be enough to send fans into a frenzy. What do you think he might say?
Well, considering Amy Pascal's hints about Peter's internal struggles, I think it's safe to say that Spider-Man 4 will delve deeper into his emotional journey. We might see him facing even tougher choices and making sacrifices that will have lasting consequences.
And who knows, maybe we'll even get a glimpse of Miles Morales somewhere down the line. That would definitely be something to tease about.
It would indeed. But for now, we'll have to wait patiently and see what the future holds for our friendly neighborhood Spider-Man.
Well, this has been an incredible deep dive into the world of Spider-Man 4. We've covered everything from Tom Holland's accidental spoiler to fan theories, potential plot twists, and the burning questions that you, our listeners, have. What a journey, right?
Oh, it really has been a whirlwind of information and speculation. And I think it's safe to say that the anticipation for this film is reaching fever pitch.
Absolutely. And we'll be here every step of the way to dissect every trailer, analyze every interview, and keep you informed on all things Spider-Man. Until then, thanks for listening, and we'll catch you on the next Fame Files.